Thanks very much, Taoiseach, and thank you to everybody for coming along today. You're very, very welcome to here. I want to just say particular thanks to Tracy and Paul as well, just for organising this event today. It's been a fantastic occasion for us, and certainly very, very proud to reach this point in our journey. It was 12 and a half years ago that I was sitting not too far up the river from here in a regular job, and it's been a long journey to get to this point, but it was only with the amazing support of family who are ably represented here today, and friends and many people within the industry who lended their support. I met some wonderful people along the way, some great inspirational people. When we started the business together, it was literally just from very, very, very beginnings, and today you think that we process over 1.8 billion euro a month through the systems. It's just been a wonderful journey, but you don't do it alone. You do it with great help and great support, and that's what we've had over the years, and that's one thing that I know I'm very, very grateful for. We reached a very critical point when we came across a client called Aer Lingus. After being many years in business, we suddenly found this big client, and as a little company of 5 people, Aer Lingus asked me one day, how can you process 500 million euro worth of payments per annum through? We can, believe me, we can. And we did. And it was a great example, I think, of how a large indigenous company like Aer Lingus could help a small company like us to get on that ladder. And I think that's a very, very important concept, that there are many, many, many companies here who are large companies and many multinationals who are based here. And as they engage services from smaller companies, what they do for those smaller companies is they give them that leg and that step up the ladder, which can be very, very helpful. As soon as we had closed with Aer Lingus, we were knocking at the doors of Virgin Atlantic, and we closed Virgin Atlantic and now process their worldwide business for them, which we wouldn't have done had we not won that first contract. So you see that these big milestones occur. A couple of years after that, it was Enterprise Ireland convinced me to go on the Leadership for Growth programme, and this was 2008. And what's that, says I. And the Leadership for Growth programme was one of these massively transformational experiences for me, where I was challenged personally and the business was challenged, and we talked about strategy and vision and values and things, and I had no idea really what they all were, but there was something to do with management. And it was a way of giving me a way to put words on things that I kind of knew was right, and it gave me this framework. And when we came back from Stanford and the management team, we went off-site for, I don't know, maybe 12 different times, and we had exercises and deep conversations with each other. And we wrote our strategy out, and we called it F5, which was a 5-year program. And it was F5 because that's the refresh key when you're browsing the web. That's what we wanted to do. And on looking back at that, I can see now that the company is 4 times the size that it was when we started that program. So we literally grew by a multiple of 4 on the back of the Leadership for Growth programme. And as you said, Taoiseach, we are in many ways a classic example of being a product of the Enterprise Ireland framework that exists. And Enterprise Ireland, it played a critical role to taking us to this point, and it obviously plays a very critical role today as well for us at a national level. There's programmes in there. I've been heavily involved with the Internet Growth Acceleration Programme and creating that programme, which I think will help a lot of startups. There's a Leadership for Growth programme, and now there's a new Accelerated Growth Engagement programme. And that's a new programme which is now starting out at Cambridge as well. And we have Greg Lise, our head of Carapay, is going on that programme. And they're very, very, very important, because what those programmes do is this learning that you can get on those programmes becomes an instrumental part of changing your business. You won't change your business if you don't learn something new. So you have to go on these programmes, because through that mechanism you find out, you get connected to people, you get new ideas, new ways of doing things. And that's where I think it was very, very good for us. Taoiseach, when you took office, we had 50 staff working in this company. We now today have, as of last week we had 120. As of today we have 131. We've got 30% of our employees are female, which is one of the highest female to male ratios within the IT industry. We have people from 14 different nationalities, right, in this company as well. And with the offices in Dublin, London and Paris, it is very, very different. We've got the average age, including me, I have to stress, of the employees is 30, which is a very, very young team. And that's a very interesting statistic that shows you that what can be done and what can be achieved. And there are no barriers sometimes for us in terms of scaling. And right now, the growth rate that we're experiencing, the business, as I say, is currently growing at about 40% year on year in terms of revenue. Last year, I think it was the start of last year with something like 5,000 clients, and it took us like nearly 11 years to build up that base. At the end of this year, we'll have close to 12,000. So that this massive transformation that has come about is down to the strategy, I believe, and the strategic thinking that we take in terms of how we drive the business forward, and getting that clarity of where you want to be in your business, because it's extremely important to know where you want to go. Because without that, clarity about where you want to be, you're just going to end up in the wrong place. So I think for us, we have to be competitive, and that's very, very important for us, because we compete internationally. We don't, our sales in Ireland are flat. We won't grow the business. Ireland is the size of Birmingham in terms of a marketplace. It simply is not enough, so we have to sell and sell more. Our sales in the UK are growing by about 90% year on year, and that's what we need. That's the type of growth that we want to try to achieve. But to be competitive, we've got to keep our costs down. And that's a big challenge for us as well, but we can, and we do that. We have to constantly innovate, and we have to engage in regular and deep learning with the people, with our partners as well. We try to be different, and we try to be different by making sure that we bring to our customers a very holistic and compelling experience. We want our customers to really feel that what they're getting from Realex and what they're now going to get from Carapay in the coming weeks is something that is very, very complete and very, very just a wonderful experience. And that's very important to put that word, a compelling experience, in front of the payments industry is something that we're trying to do. And Carapay, as I say, is our first venture into the consumer space, where we're providing payment solutions to consumers. And that current account is really like no other current account that you will have seen before. And we're hot on the time of getting that to market. It'll be a minimum viable product, as we say, in this first release, but nonetheless, it's taken years to get to this point in time. We've joined the clearing system in about 26 countries. We've been through license applications and so on, and we've put together now this current account, as I say, and we've got to try and work out now how we're going to get to market with that, but we're looking forward to that challenge. We've got a wonderful foreign direct investment ecosystem here. We've got some amazing companies just down the road from us. We've got the opportunity to interact. Last night I had dinner and I was sitting beside the CEO of Facebook. You don't get those opportunities if you're not in an economy and in a place where there is direct foreign investment. And so the direct foreign investment for us is a very important aspect of helping us to grow as well, and it gives us further opportunities too. And we know that the presence of the foreign direct investment companies, I think, is a huge advantage for this, and it sends out a message for other companies that we're dealing with, and when we're trying to sell, particularly our managed services business, we can say, look, you're coming to the heart, the home of the internet in Europe. This is where it is. It's in Dublin. So don't be afraid of dealing with us. We're just down the road from these major corporations, and dealing with us is just, that's what you want to be. So I think there are challenges, having said that, and there are challenges, as we were saying, in terms of certainly the attraction and the retention of people. And it's good to see Sean here, because I know that there are issues, and everybody in the IT sector faces those challenges in terms of trying to get the people that you need to grow your business, and it's extremely important that we do that. And in addition to looking at visas, I think as well, one of the other ideas we had was looking at the idea where employees within small indigenous Irish firms like this could participate in an equity participation programme without having to pay the tax up front the way it is today. Because in a big company you can do that because there's liquidity in the shares, but in a small company you can't. So there are further things and further ideas that we have all the time, and what they do is they build an amazing environment of where business is good and where people want to take risk, because that ultimately is what happens. And the more trade that we do, the more commerce we do, the better off we are from a welfare perspective. We generate more well-being in the society as a whole, which is what we want to do. So I would really want to thank everybody who's here. I want to pay particular thanks to the management team, because I never let them look back. I always tell them it's always about what's in front of them that's really important, and but yet it is important to acknowledge in a public environment like this as well the contribution that each of the management team have made, and certainly their support that they give to me, because they say you never do this alone. And I'm very grateful for all of them for the work that they've done and the commitment that they have to achieve the very ambitious goals that we've set. So Taoiseach, thank you very much for coming here today. Your presence here today is very important to us. It's very meaningful to us, and it is, it will be remembered. Thank you very, very much for that, because certainly we're going out there to try and, scale this company and to try and make a big impact in the payments world, and it's great to know that we have your support. So thank you very much.
Ha ha ha.